Hello students, welcome back to your literature class. Today in the session we will be dealing with the remaining part of the lesson winter arc. In the previous session we found that our teacher Anna Vasilevna has decided to meet Shavoshkin's mother and also complain her about her son's habit of late coming. So Anna Vasilevna asked him to lead her to his home. So they started their journey from the school background. So I hope all of you are with your textbook. Open your textbook. See page number 116. As soon as they stepped into the wood and the snow-laden fir branches closed behind their backs, they found themselves in an enchanted kingdom of peace and quiet. Yes, when this Anna Vasilena and Shavashkin stepped into the woods, stepped means entered into the forest, the snow-laden fir branches closed behind their backs. What did happen? Yes, the snow-laden means loaded with snow. The fir branches are loaded with snow. Snow-laden fir branches closed behind their backs. That fir tree with its snow-laden branches covered them. Now they are completely under the branches of that fir tree. They found themselves in an enchanted kingdom of peace and quiet. At that time, what did they feel? Yes, they felt that they were in an enchanted kingdom. What is the meaning of enchanted? Yes, charming or attractive. Here, kingdom refers to sanctuary. You might have heard the term sanctuary, bird sanctuary. Now, they feel that they are in a enchanted kingdom or enchanted sanctuary of peace and quiet. That place is very calm. It was white all around. Why it was white all around? Because the fir branches are loaded with snow. Here, so there was white all around. Flitting from tree to tree, magpies and crows shook the branches, knocked down field corns, and broke an occasional dry, brittle twig. Yes, here we see magpies and crows. That birds flew from tree to tree. Flitting means moving swiftly and lightly. They are moving swiftly and lightly. The birds flew from tree to tree and shook the branches. While moving, they shook the branches, knocked down fir cones. It caused to fall down fir cones. What is the meaning of fir cones? Yes, pine cones. A fruit of a fir tree, which is conical shape. Okay, and broke an occasional dry, brittle twig. Brittle means delicate. It can be easily broken. That twig is easily broken. Okay, the birds flew from tree to tree, knocking down pine cones, fruits of fir tree, which are conical in shape, and twigs. What is the speciality of that twigs? Yes, they are easily broken. Yet not a sound could be heard, and yet the place was silent. Their path wound along the edge of a brook, along its bank, obediently following its every twist and turn. Yes, their path wound along the edge of a brook. What is a brook? A small river. Yes, they are walking along its bank. Obediently, they also following its twist and turn. Occasionally, the trees stepped aside. Not frequently, sometimes the tree stepped aside. Sometimes the tree stepped aside, moved aside, opening up sun-bathed meadows. Means there were sunny open places. So in order to make that sunny open places visible, sometimes this tree stepped aside, crisscrossed by hair tracks that looked like watch chains. What did they find on the meadows? On that open places? Yes, tracks of little hair. And it looks like watch chains. Okay, intersecting lines. Crisscross means to mark with intersecting lines like watch chains. They could see the track of a hare, the track which is left by a hare, and it looks like watch chains. Okay, they also saw tracks resembling clover leaves that belonged to some larger animal and led into the woods. They also found the tracks which left by larger animals. Okay, they also saw tracks and those tracks resembling means that tracks look like clover leaves. What is a clover? It's a small plant with three rounded leaves on each stem. On the stem, there will be three rounded leaves. So that tracks of larger animal look like resembling clover leaves. It looks like clover leaves that belong to some larger animals and led into the wood. The elk's been here, Savashkin said, as if speaking of an old friend, when he noticed Anavasilevna's interest in the tracks. But don't be afraid, he replied reassuringly to her worried glance. Elves are docile. When Savoshkin noticed that Anavasilevna's interest in the track, he said that it is the track left by an elk. Elk is a large deer. At that moment, he recognized elk track and assured his teacher that they were gentle. So, there is no matter of worry. Okay. She need not worry. Elks are docile. Docile means gentle. Have you have you ever seen one? Anna Slavana asked excitedly. Really, Anna Slavana was keen to know if Savashkin had seen one. A live one? Savashkin said. No, but I have seen his droppings. Savashkin replied that he had not seen one till then. Instead, he had seen their droppings. Droppings means dung. He had seen their droppings only. He had not seen them alive. Okay. Sleeping under an arc of branches, the pathway once again ran down to the stream. They are sliding under an arc of branches. Now the branches are like an arc. Okay, sliding under an arc of branches, the pathway the route once again ran down to the stream. In some places, snow blanketed the stream, and elsewhere the water flowed under a prison of ice. In some places, they could see the snow covered the stream. Blanketed means covered the stream, and elsewhere, some other part, the water flowed under a prison of ice. They saw snow covered the stream, and also in some other parts, water flowed under a prison of ice. Now that water is in a prison, prison of ice, means the water is flowing slowly. And Vasilevna turned her attention to the stream and gazed in awe. Yes, at that time, Anna Vasilevna looked at the stream and gazed in awe. Gazed means looked and looked in wonder. Awe means wonder. Why isn't it all ice? She asked. There are lots of warm springs here. See the little jet? So Ashkin said animatedly. The brook is alive under the snow. At that time, Savashkin said that there are lots of fountain. Here warm spring means fountain, watering places. See that little jet? He also shot one little jet, little fountain. So Vashkin said animatedly, he said with much excitement, the brook is alive under the snow. See, the brook, that small river, is still alive under the snow. He brushed away the snow and slate black, transparent water came to view. At that time, he brushed away the snow and slate black. The color, you know that it is purplish black. He brushed away the snow and that slate black. At that time, transparent water came to view. That time, they could see transparent water. And Vasilevna noticed with great fascination that when the snow slid into the stream, it thickened at once and floated beneath the water like a jelly, like greenish weight. What did she notice? She noticed that when the snow moved smoothly into the stream, it thickened. It will become thick and floated beneath the water, and it will float under the water like a jelly. At that time, it is just like greenish wheat. She pushed more snow into the water and was delighted when a lump of snow took on an especially strange shape. Then what did she do? She pushed more snow into the water and she also very delighted when a lump means when a mass of snow took on an especially strange shape. At that time, the snow will be in a special or strange shape. While seeing that, this Anna Vasilevna was delighted. She repeated that action. That means he pushed snow into the water and she became happy when this mass of snow took on a strange shape. Carried away by this, she did not notice at first that Shwashkin was waiting for her ahead. She hurried after him. Carried away, she has carried away with this action with so much excitement. Carried away means got excited. She is got excited by this and she did not notice at first. She did not notice that Shwashkin was waiting for her ahead. She hurried after him. When she realized that Sovashkin is waiting for her, she hurried after him. Now you maybe understood the reason why Sovashkin is always late, right? Then see the next page. The forest took them farther down its tangent paths. Children, that path of that forest is really tangent, means twisted paths. Gradually, the tree began to thin out. That means gradually the trees become less in number, diminished, and make way for a silver of sunlight, which soon grew into a broad shaft. That time there could see silver of sunlight. Okay, silver of sunlight means ray of sunlight, which soon grew into a broad shaft and it has become into a broad beam of light. Shaft means beam of light. There in the middle of the glade, clothed in glittering white raiment, majestic as a cathedral, stood an oak, its canopy of leaves encased in snow, and snowflakes lining its trunk, which glittered like silver thread. What did they see in the middle of the forest? Yes, in the middle of the forest, the oak tree stood like a white cathedral. You know that? A cathedral is a big church. Why it is in white color? Yes, it is covered with snow. Its leaves are covered with snow. Clothed, and it is just like a cathedral clothed in snow, glowing in the sunlight, with snowflakes shimmering along its trunk. There in the middle of the glade means open space in a wood, clothed in glittering white raiment. Yes, what is the color of the cloth? Yes, white. Majestic as a cathedral. Now it looks like a cathedral. Big church. Stood an oak. Its canopy of leaves encased in snow. Yes, it's a shade of leaves. Canopy means shade. A shade of leaves encased, enclosed in snow. And snowflakes lining its trunk, which glittered like silver thread. Okay, on the trunk, snowflakes form, and it is just like a line. Okay, which glittered like silver thread. Snowflakes now glitter like a silver thread. It seemed to Anna Vasilevna that the mighty guardian of the forest quietly waved a branch to her in greeting. The tree seemed to wave a branch at that time. The tree seemed to wave a branch at her in greeting. She called that tree the mighty guardian of the forest. Mighty means, what's the meaning of mighty? Powerful guardian of the forest. And the tree seemed to wave a branch at her in greeting many ways. And she had thought she was a skillful teacher. She thought about herself in many ways. She thought that she was a skillful teacher. Why? A lifetime was too short to delight in the wonders of the path she had just traveled. That moment was really gives her a pleasure. Besides, this path was hard to find, like a key to a magic casket. And she considered this path like a key to a magic casket. Casket means a box which contains valuable things. But here, deep in these woods, when she felt the same thrill of discovery with which the children shouted their tractor, well, bird cage in the classroom far away, the path slowly showed itself to her. At that time, she could feel the thrill her students felt in the class while naming familiar objects. Well, Savoshkin, thanks for the walk. It's past 3 and we will have missed your mother. And yes, you can take this path too if you want. Now, it's already past 3. So, definitely they will miss become red in color. He raised his collar and pulled down his cap. I shall walk you back. It's all right, Swashkin. I shall go along. Okay, I will go along. He looked doubtfully at his teacher, picked up a stick, broke off its crooked tip, and gave it to Anna Vasilevna. At that moment, she picked up a stick and broke off its crooked tip. That tip is twisted one, and he broke it and gave it to Anna Vasilevna. If you meet the elk, he said, wave the stick, but don't strike him, or he may take offense and leave our wood forever. Then he gave the stick and told her that if she sees an elk on the way, just wave the stick. Don't try to beat it. If she beats it, it won't come back to this forest. Very well, Svashkin. I shan't beat him. Okay, this and Vasilevna also, this teacher. Now, the teacher has become the student and the student has become the teacher. Savoshkin, meanwhile, busily observed the tree. which was home to a number of lodges, beetles, lizards, and other insects who sought shelter from the biting cold. Okay, at that time, what was Samoshkin doing? Yes, so he was busily observed the tree. He was observing the tree, which was a home to a number of lodges. Who are they? Beetles, lizards, and other insects. This tree is a home for number of insects, birds, lizards, etc. From the biting cold, from the strong cold, extremely cold. The poor creatures could not have found a better home than this mighty tree that was laden with life. This tree is laden with life. What is the meaning of laden? Carrying or holding a lot of something. This tree is an energy. It is a symbol of energy. So, all creatures found that it is a better home to live. And Vasilevna was gazing in delight into the secret forest, teeming with life that was till now unknown to her. Teeming with means completely this forest or this tree was completely unknown to her. And she had thought she was a skillful teacher. She thought out herself in because she will go before three. Now this teacher understood the reason of his late coming. Okay, and she says that he can take this path too. So Moshkin wanted to promise that he would never come late again, but that would be a lie. He wanted, but if he says so, it will become a lie. He blushed. When the teacher thanks him, he blushed. His face having walked off a bit, Anna Vasilevna turned round to look at the oak, rosy white in the rays of the setting sun, and saw a dark little figure at its foot. Svashkin hadn't left, holding guard over her teacher from afar. Yes, after having a few steps front, Anna Vasilevna once again turned round to look at the oak. Rosy white at that time. What was the color of oak? Yes, it was in rose color, in the rays of the setting sun. Yes, it's a time to set the sun. And so a dark little figure at his foot. Was it? Yes, Savoshkin. Savoshkin hadn't left the place. Now he stood there as a guardian over his teacher, and he noticing her from far away. And it suddenly dawned on Anna Vasilevna that the most wonderful thing about this wood wasn't its winter oak, but this little man. This wonderful, at last she realized that the wonderful thing about this wood is not this oak tree, but this little man, who is none other than Savashkin, this wonderful citizen of the future. She waved her hand to him and started off at a leisurely pace along the winding footpath. She also in a leisure mood. Why? She also in a unhurried way or unhurried manner, because that place is so much charming. She is really in an enchanted sanctuary. Now the teacher also found the reason of his late coming. She also hesitated to leave the place. That is why she walked in an unhurried manner. Really, this teacher is proud to see a boy as a part of new generation, enjoying the natural beauty and caring for wild animals. This is how this lesson ends. Children, read the text well. Okay, in the next class, I will be discussing the textual exercises. Okay, now let us mark the remaining meanings. See page number 116. Fleeting, moving swiftly and lightly. Next, brittle, delicate and easily broken. Then docile, calm and easy to control. Next meaning, droppings, done. Then animatedly, full of interest and excitement. Sliver of sunlight, a thin ray of sunlight. Shaft, a beam of light. Raiment, clothing. Cathedral, a very large and important church. Teeming with, completely filled with. Then casket, a small decorative box that is used to keep valuables. Okay, read the textbook well.